here on Wellington Rocks. Today we're Into Orbit with Paul Stewart.
Hey.
Hey. So this is going to be fun for all you nerds. Nerd time. Okay, so let's start off with the guitar.
Yeah. This is my Schecter Diamond Series Tempest Extreme, which sounds very extreme, I guess. I've had it for about nearly 10 years, and in that time it's had about 5 pickup changes, and it's had a bridge replaced, it's had the tuners replaced, and yeah, just kind of been experimenting with various things depending on what I'm doing, but yeah, really happy with it at the moment. It's plays really well. To me, it's a bit brighter than some like Les Paul style guitars, but which is quite good for me because I use the neck pickup 85% of the time, and so because we have no bassist, so I don't need to worry too much about managing on that in range. And it's a versatile guitar as well. I think I like it's got the coil taps on both pickups, so I can kind of go from a real bright, clean to I think.
Yeah.
Sounds even better. So like louder stuff, and that really helps with the looping as well. I generally in the set, especially in heavy songs, I'll use the humbucker setting for a rhythm, and then switch to single coil, or switch to bridge pickup, which is a Dimarzio 36th anniversary pickup. So
Okay.
and it's actually quite low output, and I quite like that compared to this is actually a Alnico 2 Slash pickup, so it makes me sound like Slash, obviously. But yeah, they both work well together. This is the bridge pickup's got a lot of mid-range, can be almost nasal sounding, like almost too nasally when you put it on a drive pedal with it. But yeah, it's good to have all that tonal variation. Yeah.
So are both the pickups the Marzio?
No, this is a Seymour Duncan.
That's
the
the
Alnico, yeah, this is the Dimarzio. I had a Dimarzio Evo, sorry, I had a Dimarzio Evo, which was sort of Steve Vai signature, I think. And that was cool for metal stuff, but I just kind of had one gear. It didn't really do much more than heavy, and when you cleaned it up it was like sterile. So my friend Todd from who's a music player, he put in this Dimarzio for me, and yeah, I really like it. I'm sort of always up keen on trying to get pickups, but yeah.
Let's talk a little bit, because I've seen other people do this too. So here, most of us, I'll get a close-up this way.
Yeah.
Most of us would string these like what I do, and I put them through that way.
Yeah, underneath.
And you put them through over the top. Can you explain?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe what
So
that's all about?
again, a lot of I know not that much about guitar hardware. A lot of the time it's people will show me things, or they'll tell me about something someone else does, and I'll try it out. So I like it, or I hate it. So when I set up my guitar and set the string of guitars like that, and then go over it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I've been finding the last 20 years of had it like this, and I find that I think the idea is like I don't know the science of it, but adjusts the angle, so there's less of an angle to the string. So to me, it feels more. I do a lot of kind of like vibrato and I quite like the way that kind of just feels easier and feels smoother. It makes it a little bit easier and I like to put a bit of vibrato on chords and things like that. And so just for my style of playing, I guess I've gotten into it. It's one of those kind of a happy mistake.
So you know where these guitars are going?
No, possibly.
Because it's an interesting brand. Like,
Yeah, Schecter, yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows their Fenders and their Gibsons and their Pioneers and their lights.
Yeah.
But,
It is. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I have kind of gotten very comfortable with this guitar and never really. The last few years I've been more assembling a rig piece by piece, and the idea of shelling out for an expensive Les Paul or a Jaguar or something else, maybe something a little cooler. Is and it does look a little, the whole Schecter Diamond Tempest Extreme thing it was cracking me up. But it's a unique guitar, I think, in some ways. It's not, and I've certainly through playing other guitars I've identified what I don't like, and what makes guitars hard for me. Not hard for me to play, but it just makes them less enjoyable to play. And so I've been trying to get this one, gradually by adding replacing parts to kind of get something that I can work with, and this can give me a variety of sounds. That's always the thing with it, in particular, is getting things that it can be very chimey and or dead clean and very dry or very washy, and then to go not high gain but to go to extreme volume levels, and all of those things help. I find the neck pickup very responsive for controlling feedback, so I don't have any tone knobs on it, but we were seeing Russian Circles a few years ago, and when he's doing feedback, it's always using the volume and tone knobs, so you get it to that sweet point, and then you can kind of back off the highs so that things don't just turn into screechy. But it's interesting. I mean, a few people asked me about it at gigs and thought it's something cooler than it is. It's a great PRS. And it's not a PRS, but I think that's the same with a lot of people who are not in a financial position to buy outright, an expensive guitar, or not dealing with endorsements or things like that, where you basically get the guitar that you can afford at the time. You make it work, and I like that on the way in. My very first guitar was like a Cash and Dealers Ibanez one bridge pickup thing that didn't stay in tune. Gradually got comfortable with that and got into playing that guitar, and it was like a Squire Strat, and then this one just kind of came along.
It's actually a very cool guitar.
Yeah,
it's got a semi. It looks to me it looks sort of like a cross between an SG and a Jazzmaster.
Yeah. It's kind of got that. And it's got elements, I guess, of the kind of PRS look with the way it's not quite a symmetrical shape, and it's not quite a Les Paul and that kind of thing. And so it's kind of again it's drawing on a few different guitar designs in a way, and that I like the finish on it. It's also what is really great about it is it stays in tune really well. So I actually find, because of so much else, especially between songs, we kind of have an approach that we have no silence between tracks. So if I want to tune, I kind of want to lay down a loop or something. There's a lot to think about, and if I don't have to tune, that's even better. And so generally, if I'm tuning, it's because I've either knocked one of the tuning pegs, or I need to go to a drop tuning. But that's a big thing about it, and I think playability and reliability are the biggest things. I've had very few problems with. There was a little issue with the I think it's electrical point, but it was quick fix. So it hasn't let me down, and that's I guess if you're superstitious, you sort of think if there was a guitar I would to play for my life with, probably go with this.
No, but I kind of get it. Like I think a lot of us who play guitar, you've been playing one guitar for a while, you get comfortable with that guitar, and if you do get anything else, you just want another version of the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you even see people get into a signature guitar endorsement world, and a lot of the time it's, they want something that they were familiar with from a young age, and something they learned from even. There's a lot out there. It's the same with guitar pedals. It's nice to have something that feels familiar that you can manipulate to your needs if you want it to sound different, or
So one interesting thing about Paul's style is a lot of ambient guitarists use volume pedals to get swells. Paul is famous for not using a volume pedal.
Yeah.
So how important is the position of the volume knob?
It's probably, like, to be honest, it's one of the most important things in the set. And that's another thing is that the position of, like, so generally we'll do swelling on as with most things on the neck pickup. And so it's constant. Even when I'm not doing volume swells, I'm constantly writing the volume knob. And the not having volume pedal is because, to be completely honest, I don't have any room for one, and they're very big. And I've always had this approach that I don't want to pay for something that I can do with my hands for free. But and that didn't sound the best. But it's
very true.
It's been my approach from day one, is not wanting to splash out on things really too much if I don't see need for them.
So here we are in Gizmo Station.
Cool.
So this is the mission control for Into Orbit.
This is the very messy mission control.
Okay.
So it's pretty. First thing is pretty straightforward. No, it's not very. It's not that straightforward, but it's compared to everything's basically. I can adjust it on the fly with obviously between loops, between songs, and there's no loop switching in Gizmo or anything turning one or two pedals, or 2 or 3 pedals on and off at the same time. So it starts with the Korg Pitch Black Mini tuner, which is just
right
here.
there.
Yep. Which is actually white.
Yep.
It's the white version. And then that's with the tuner, which is great, and it stays in tune. It helps me stay in tune. I also have the Pitch Black Poly tune, but I've found that doesn't like drop tuning. It goes crazy when you try and go to a drop tuning, so that's good for just, and it's small, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is the thing I really like at the moment, is small pedal. And and then this is a Hotcake clone, which is made by Jeremy Tinnitus Effects. And so that's, I have it set kind of both on halfway. I think this button gives a mid scoop or a mid boost. I got it on the mid boost. And so it's really, the way I've got it set, it can go, if you put it all the way to full, it'll get into fuzz territory. But I kind of prefer it almost like when I use it on its own, it's like a slightly it just boosts the amp a little bit.
Right.
It's just the way I've got it set, and then I combine it with the other two drive pedals. The Soul Food, so that's like a clone of the Clone Centaur, one of the many clones, the fabled pedal, and I love it. I got one soon after they came to New Zealand, and it's an amazing recording tool. Like it's you can use it as an always on kind of clean boost thing. It really brightens up neck pickups if they're too dark, and kind of beefs up single coils. But I've got it set that it's got a massive volume boost. So almost every gig we've had, I turn that on and it's like, Jesus, that's really loud. Could you please turn it down? Is often the response, and so I've kind of got it actually up, and partly because of that, and partly because of the new material we've been writing, I've had it more set with higher gain and lower volume, so it's not kind of kicking the front end of the amp quite so much, but it's still it's definitely got the most boost of all the drives, and so that helps with having that between the Boss and the Hotcake works well. And then if this is a modded, it does that. It's got a cool blue light, the Boss Super Overdrive, which is, I guess that's into Tube Screamer territory, but it's kind of like, I use it a lot. I've kind of, again, got it set quite bright, and I've got it with the volume not too high, because I often use it with the neck pickup as a coil tap pickup for leads. So often on its own, it's a little too harsh, a little too bright for what we do. But when I combine it with the Hotcake, it's a kind of a nice level. It does work well in stuff that's more power chord driven, that's using the low E, open E, or E flat as we play E flat, or if we're going to a drop tuning, and it helps, especially if I'm using the octave pedal for rhythm stuff. Because it is so bright, it kind of compensates for the extra low end, the muddiness that you push in there with the POG. And then so the POG, which is kind of my, we've got two. I'll go to the other octaves a little bit. The POG I've got set, I've gone back and forward with different sounds for this, but when we track bass in the studio, it's full set, full wet, with just the sub octave. But this is kind of, I guess, our it's like our rhythm sound, and it's with the sub octave just a little bit higher than I drew these lines on, because the other ones disappeared. It's a little bit, you've got a little bit more sub octave coming through than the dry guitar signal, but when you get to the end of the chamber, it splits up the amps. There's other stuff going on, so I'll get to that as well. Any questions?
No. But it's the POG, which is
the micro POG,
the micro POG, which is basically your bass player.
Basically. And I also, for a number of songs now, I use the high octave setting, just often on chords. A couple of parts which are kind of almost getting into synth territory, so I'll have the high octave mixed in. So you have the three different voices coming through. It's a really cool, there obviously are, there's the POG too, and there's all those kind of things out there, but
the POGs have been turning up, because Into Orbit was the first band I think I saw using one, but then Earth Tongue and Toscoma, I think, used them as well. So
the micro POG sort of feel, the micro POG is great. It doesn't have the presets in there, so you kind of have to be adjusting it on the fly a bit. But yeah, the overall, I mean, the sound is all there, and it does have the dry out, so you can just. For me, I need everything going before the looper, but you can do have it splitting into your bassing, just the subtle, which works really well. And this is the first pedal I ever bought, which is the D3, which is quite old now. But this was when we first started in tour, but I had tuner, super overdrive, Holy Stain, D3 looper, and that was it. And so I used that throughout the set for a lot of slapback sounds, but also swells. And the way I've got it set now is basically it's been kind of relegated to noisemaker between sets, and sometimes I'll switch the feedback onto 100% and give me time to do other things without having to kind of put a loop down or anything. But it's fantastic. It's a great. I use it a lot when we're recording for lead sounds as well. It's sometimes you need something that just cuts through and gives just those clean repeats that you kind of need from the digital.
Well, the thing about DD3s is they still make them.
Yeah. And it honestly, the Boss pedals, the pedal board, are the only ones that have never had any issues. Yeah. They've never broken on me. Like I have the electro harmonics ones are great, but there's always been the occasional issue with them. All of them that I've owned. So this is it's so reliable, and I do if the Canyon delay broke, or if I had to rely on it, I would do a set with it in an instant. It doesn't have the tap tempo, which is me annoying, and because the repeats are so clean, I feel like with me anyway, with digital delay, you kind of need them syncopating because it just can throw everything off. But I don't do a lot of syncopating delay stuff where the riff is reliant on the delay repeats. I think the people who do that well do it really well, and it doesn't need to be done too much.
Yeah, we're not talking about anyone in particular. Yeah. Not you two.
Not you two at all. No. But so this is and then it goes up to the Holy
Stain.
Yeah, the Holy Stain, which is the second pedal I ever bought, but this is not the one I actually bought because this is a replacement because that one finally broke after about 10 years. And it's as I use it for the whole. Generally, it's on the whole setting for reverb, and I sort of get it. It's the mix. In a gig, all the settings stay the same except for the mix, which I'll put up to about there, almost 100% wet, and get really washy stuff, which you combine it with finger picking, can just give it a real different texture, and used for volume swell. You can get very decent volume swells out of it just with it on the whole setting. One of the reasons I really like it when the other Holy Stain kind of gave up, I went in and tried a lot of other reverbs, and I actually ended up really liking this again because the full kind of wet sound to me takes out pretty much all the dry signal. It takes out all the attack, and that works really well for particular parts for me. But I just think it sounds really natural as well. It's just a sound I've got used to, so keep it there. It's got a horrible pitch shift effect, which I don't think I've ever used. And it's got a really nice tremolo, which I've used on quite a few parts on albums. And when I remember to switch to it, I will use it at a gig. But and the tremolo, when you put that on, it combines it with a bit of the reverb signal, so you get that Fendery sound. But it's also been great for times where I've used just the Jensen Bassman, which doesn't have its heavy effects, and so I've at times used it almost like an amp reverb. So like even just really subtle, like
quite high level amount, but you have the mix quite low. And you get a lot of the attack of the notes, but still get that reverb sound. And it sounds good on short settings, long settings. It's got the tone knobs for a warm or a dark or a bright sound, and it also has drive pedals in it. So it's the fuzz is insane. Again, really fun to muck around with recording. We had a lot of fun with just tuning everything up on that. And it's the sort of fuzz that I don't think I've used it much ever in a riff context, but a noise, applying it to a noise part is really cool. And it's just crazy. Responds to things like vibrato really interestingly. And this is the newest pedal.
Yes, it's all.
Yeah,
It looks new.
it is. Yeah, it's cleaner than the rest. The Canyon delay, which is like one of the coolest pedals I think I've tried or used in the last since I've been getting into pedals. So I've always really liked having tap tempo. Is that right?
Yeah.
So it's got you can attach an external tap tempo switch, but I don't know where I put it, so I just use the bypass switch is actually great for it. So if it's off, you have to do 3 taps obviously. So in the last 2 are registered. So and then you've got your tempo. It's also got tap divide, so you can then get into your 16ths, etc. You can get dotted 8s. But it has so much stuff going on. It's got, let's just quickly, it's got echo, which is a straight digital delay. It's got mod, it's got multi-delay, which is kind of wacky. It's got reverse delay, which is lots of fun. Deluxe Memory Man, I use it on the Deluxe Memory Man in the tape setting, because I replace it, again, my Deluxe Memory Boy broke completely. Something happened to the chip. So I replace it with this, and so I use it to kind of simulate that Deluxe Memory Man, and the tape echo one's really good. The Verb one's cool, so you can take your feedback all the way down and turn your level up, and you get essentially just a reverb as well if you want. The octave setting, which gives you these cascading octaves. The Shimmer, which does a similar thing, but even more kind of ethereal. And then what else?
Oh, it's got a looper built in, doesn't
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only issue with it is a small font, so I can't actually read what that says. But sample and hold, so you just samples and holds a note. And the looper is cool, so I've been using that for actually one song, which has a loop that's too long for the head rush. So yeah, and the other really cool, sorry, I was just the really cool thing with it as well is if you hold the tap divide, it goes into the secondary function mode.
It's so tiny.
It's tiny. It's almost couldn't believe how good it was. How there must be a catch somewhere.
Okay, and that would go into the. Would you call this the key?
Yeah.
Man?
This is I need a backup of this. One of the switches broken once before a gig and fell through into the valley of the pedal, and I drove desperately out to Stokes Valley. And Jeremy, who's the lifesaver who built this pedal, and this switch actually, and he modded this, he saved it for me, and it was actually very, very straightforward once he took it apart. But it's essentially our third member, and I got one of his Russian circles, used one, and I really liked how they did looping, and it felt very live to me. It wasn't everything quantized, pre-programmed. I love that way of applying technology in a musical way. So a couple of things that are extremely specific about it, and some people probably wouldn't give a shit, but they matter a lot to me. The foot switches are really responsive. Like, we've got no click, everything just it responds really quickly, and that's important because I find it, without wanting to get too weird, zen about things, but I find that even if I'm slightly anxious or breathing heavily or something, getting too into a riff, it'll fuck with my loop. So things like the switches just responding and me not having to actually put extra energy into pushing them down really helps. It's simple. It's a very simple looper. So it's got all these switches which are for the tape echo setting, which I don't really use. So all I use, none of these knobs get touched in the gig. It's just set onto loop and the level maxed. And so a couple of things. So the switches are great. It has the audio, the fidelity. There's no degradation. The quality of the loops, and that really helps. You hear a loop as you think you're going to hear it once you've finished the phrase, and all of those things, because we do it live, there's no click track, and it's all us responding to what's happening coming out of that loop, what the two of us are playing. It's all crucial to the set working and being a really exciting piece of music.
Okay.
And
so that goes from that.
We
so you
follow
got a couple of switches.
Yeah. It's just following it. Oh yeah, it's this long lead. So this goes. This Jeremy made me this amp switcher, which isn't entirely accurate now because there's 3 amps, but it's basically. This was when I just had the Vox and the Jansen going, and so this is the my bad handwriting, and it either switches. So it probably makes more sense to explain what happens after it. The Vox signal goes out and goes to the guitar EQ pedal, and then it goes into the Vox amp. And this EQ is cutting some of the low mids. It's like boosting some of the mids. It's also just acting as a little bit of a level boost, but it just helps in generally brightening up the sound. So that's where, if we've got a loop that's quite reliant on the POG, having quite a lot of sub-octave coming through, having this cutting some of those low frequencies really helps with everything. Everything just doesn't turn to mud. Like that's the main thing, is that you still get that bite of a guitar sound, and a lot of the time when the octave is going through and the cutting some of those lows, the sound coming out of that is out of the Vox is drastically different to the bass amp and to the Jansen bassman. It's kind of more in a low tuned guitar sound. In the Jansen signal, which was originally just the Jansen, but it's kind of a low mids end of things.
Right.
So that goes. So that goes into the switchblade, which is another ABY box, and one of those outputs goes here to the bass equalizer, the bass version of this, and that's pretty much on all the time, and then from there it goes somehow kind of weaves its way and goes into the Moore POG. Well, it's not called a POG, they can't call it a POG, but the Moore tender octave, which I believe they actually got in a bit of trouble because they got so close to mimicking the POG circuit. But their pedals are great, and so that's another polyphonic octave pedal, and that's set completely wet with the sub octave, and that's only used. So it's used for a couple of things. It's used when we cut to no loops, and we want a straight guitar sound coming out of the guitar amps and a bass sound coming out of the bass amp. It's also used. We have some songs where there'll be a POG sound on here with maybe more guitar, more kind of straight dry signal and less sub-octave, but enough sub-octave that it makes a difference. Put both of them on and get 2 octaves down, and goes nuts. And yeah, there's our song, our Stone Circle song, Unearthing. The sound at the start of that is the 2 octave pedals. One set, yeah, full width going into 2 amps, and then the splitting off in the 3rd amp gets the other octave pedal plus the cog, and it gets that 2 octaves down. So it's like a bass with an octave pedal, I guess, which is it's pushing the what the speakers can handle, but it's never too bad because you're not using bass pickups, bass strings, or it's that there's less low end bass. So this is my Vox AC50 CPH head, which is it's a 2-channel head, and it's sort of the first proper tube amp I bought, and yeah, used it. It's featured on every single Into Orbit song ever. Apart from maybe one song when it broke. But yeah, so it's kind of got the channel I use is the green clean channel, which can, with the gain max, can get into quite grindy territory. But I kind of have it. I set a lot of things like I do overdrive pedals with kind of a high volume and low gain. And it's got a nice reverb on it. It's got and it's set kind of like reasonably flat. It's got a lot of mid-range, and especially through the 212 cab, which is homemade, but I didn't make it. I think it might be even a Jensen cab, but it's some kind of cab custom one. But it's got 70-80 Celestion speakers, which are quite bright, and yeah, on its own it sounds very bright and almost too much so, but it fits in really well with the other amps. It's got an overdrive channel, which we've used a lot on albums, which has more tone tweakability. It's really useful for it's got a DI out on the back, which is really cool. So we've actually recently Ian's got an interface where the DI signal from this amp just goes straight into that, and now we have linear monitors to get rid of any issues with monitoring. It's got an effects loop. It's kind of it's like a cool modern amp with a vintage sound, I guess. And I think this channel is meant to be more AC30, but it's definitely darker than any AC30 I've used, and it's obviously got the full range of EQ options.
Which an AC30 doesn't.
Yeah. So that's what I found really interesting when I did use a borrowed that one. It was an AC30. I was amazed, I was like, shit, it was really loud, but it also didn't quite the tweakability. So I think it's done me well as a versatile head. It can do initial. I use it out of the Dark Divinity on the overdrive channel with the tube screamer, and it's pretty good for that kind of heavy stuff as well. It's kind of does a lot.
Yes, the notorious.
Yeah, this is the
Jensen.
This is my 50, maybe 60-year-old Jensen Bassman 50, and it started smoking as a kid. It nearly sort of caught fire, and it's now been lovingly restored by Jarrett at Rectified Amps in Wellington. And it kind of there's a lot of humidity in it, and it's not very hot as they do, and it's not even too hot. And you took out the power and the output transformer, just gutted the thing. But it's now it's been put back together again. It's got new tunes and transformers, and it sounds awesome. It's not a low stage volume amp at all. Like it just goes really loud. We weren't here before. It's just the clean sound. It's got a lot to it, with nothing in front of it. So and then when you put these kind of gain pedals in front of it, you're stacking them and hitting the front of it quite hard. It really does get very loud. kind of patch the channels together. I started doing ages ago. This was nice. I like that. I do like that sound. I've used it a number of times as a bass amp through a bass cab or 810s and 14s and things, and sounds amazing like that. And it's a real contrast from the Vox, which is much more, I guess, chimey and gives you that sweeter kind of top end. But whereas this is, it definitely has a lot of treble to it, but it's just clean. Like you can hit it extremely hard, and it takes a lot to distort it. So I've recently been often having this more on my side of the stage because I think that the fun with all that headroom, it gives a bit more clarity to the loops, especially when we're playing heavy. So the Vox, because it gets to a point where it starts compressing a lot and rhythm loops, where you lose the percussiveness of them, or the attack of the notes. So yeah, that's been kind of my go-to for having on my side of the stage and being able to, it's just everything's really clear. It's also, but I think just again because of the high headroom, it's a very consistent sounding amp from venue to venue. Like you can, you chuck a lot of gain on it and you turn all the gain off and it's back to being very clean, and you know what you're getting with it, I think. So hopefully it lasts another 50 years. It's made New Zealand, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And it's going through this Trace Elliott 412 cabinet, which is 240 watts. And and it's got a metal grill, which is pretty cool. Makes it louder, apparently. It's a really cool room, and I mean, still playing with fire, but it's annoying. It will one day just stop, but it sounds really glorious while it's going. So it is the orange Terra bass, the bass Terra, and it's 500 watts, and it's got a tube preamp, and it's very loud, and it's tiny, which is cool, because getting a third amp was always sort of going to be a bit of a push, but getting a third big amp, so it's fantastic. I've got it on the floor because I had it sitting balanced on gents. I didn't know so much for power. So that's the other great thing, everybody. It's light and small. It's loud, and it's kind of I guess my dream bass amp is the orange, it is amazing. But the pricing is big. So this has got, I think, similar tubes to that. And I like, it's not sterile. Like a few times we've used this filter, MP, things like that. Stuff intended for bass guitars essentially, which is obviously not what we have. So this, because of the tube preamp, I just sort of find it can get a better all-round sound for what we want to do when we don't have anything with too much low end going through it. And because it's been a bit of a challenge initially, like incorporating it into the rig, because it's being 500 watts, it's got a lot of headroom, and there's generally the same, same drive pedals are going through into this, and so while they might boost the Vox by that much, they feel like they're boosting the orange by that much. So that's been also behind the kind of reducing the levels on the drive pedals and experimenting with the level on the bass EQ pedal just to kind of even things out. And so it's loud as hell, but currently it's 2.5. So it doesn't need to go beyond that really. It's got the kind of boost the notes a little bit because obviously the guitar wants to give that back. And yeah, it's going through this Ashton 450 watt cab, which is 4x10, and it's actually quite small. Really, it's ironically the loudest rig is the smallest one in the room. So it's just kind of a slim master or slim design or something like that. So that's great. It's nice and light. So if we are picking all of this backline to a gig, it's the bass rig is nice.